Victor Osimhen to Chelsea can still happen. Now, if you're like me, you probably have gray hairs from waiting for this transfer to happen. You've probably, you could have had a college degree from the amount of videos, tweets, and everything in between you have read about this deal. You've dreamt about it, you've cried about it, maybe even, and you wanted it to happen. Today, the transfer deadline has ended, and we do not have Victor Osimhen in a Chelsea shirt. So why is the title of this video that it's not over? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. But before we get into that, really quickly, just hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already. That helps out a lot. It's been a tough transfer deadline day, and you hitting that would be awesome. Let's try to get to 300 likes and stay positive because we are still getting Osimhen. But let me make this absolutely 100% crystal clear. There is zero chance, obviously, that we get him before January. And I know what you're thinking. Really, another couple months? Is he really going to come with the wages, with the demands? Does he even want to come? Does he want money? All that is up for grabs. But let me tell you why exactly he will be coming in January. Now, getting all into this, before we paint this picture, we got to figure out what happened. Now, most of you know, if you don't know already, this is what happened. Transfer deadline day is coming. Al Hilal wants him. We want him. Al Hilal makes an offer. Then they make an offer for Tony. Then Napoli want more money for Victor Osimhen. They decide, heck no, I'm just going to sign Tony. Victor Osimhen, very mad at Napoli. Chelsea fly over to Napoli. They try to convince him. They say, we'll give you $155,000 a week. He says, I make $250,000 and I want $300,000. They say, we don't pay anyone that, and there's a debacle and no one agrees on wages. Therefore, the deal cannot come to terms and the deadline is over. Now, there are so many tweets about all the little details. The couple that I would read out for you right here that I think is very important for you to know is Fabrizio reported that the relationship between Napoli and Victor Osimhen is broken and ruined. He is not happy with them. So, he is not going to be playing for Napoli. He's not going to be staying at Napoli, and he can't go anywhere else. Al Hilal have just signed Ivan Toney, and they're not going to get him now. It's clear as day. That's one thing you need to know. The second thing that you need to know is that Chelsea offered him about $300,000 a week, half of it on incentives, half of it not, and it just didn't work out. So why is this all going to change? What is going to happen in January for us to get him? And, well, that's what we got to figure out. Number one point I want to talk about that no one is mentioning is Napoli and how strong of negotiators they are. Everyone knows that, but here's the issue. They have spent the Victor Osimhen money. That's why they don't want to do a loan. They have spent it. If you don't know already, I think I made a list because of it. Obviously, they signed our amazing Chelsea legend Lukaku. Other than that, what did they sign? They signed McTominay for $33 million. Billy Gilmore, who's actually an ex-Chelsea player, another one, but for over $30 million. And I think they signed David Neres, who's another $30 million. And then they signed another center back from Torrent for. They have spent about $150 million and barely sold anyone. Napoli does not have the money to spend $150 million without having any outgoings. So they absolutely need to sell him in January, and that brings me to my next point. Victor Osimhen is a world-class striker who wants world-class money, world-class everything, and that limits your teams, right? What teams are going to want him? Let's go through the list. I got it right here. I got it here so much I had to say it twice, apparently. PSG, they have Gonzalo Ramos and Koulibaly. They don't need him, and they've already backed out, and they're out. Italy, Juve doesn't want him. They have Vlahovic. They're doing great. AC Milan doesn't want him. They just got Tony Abraham. Inter doesn't want him. They have Lautaro Martinez. No one is going to want him in Italy. Well, let's go to Spain. Yeah, Atletico just signed Alvarez. They have Griezmann. No. Real Madrid have Mbappe. Barca don't have the money or that, and they also have Lewandowski. Only other team in Germany that can afford him, Harry Kane. They are not going to get him when they have Harry Kane because Bayern have him. The only other teams are Premier League teams now that have the money. You know he's not going to City because of Holland. You know he's not going to Liverpool because of Darwin. The only other club that could take him from us is Arsenal, and they have shown zero interest in him over the last couple weeks. I think they want Victor Gyökeres from Sporting, and they're waiting till next year. And they're kind of happy with Kai Havertz up top. So it is going to come down to, well, you want to leave. Napoli needs to save him, and we want him. We obviously want another striker because we didn't get Samuel Orderon, whatever you say his name. We didn't sign John Duran. We always wanted a striker, and we obviously really, really wanted Victor Osimhen today. So we're going to need a striker, and we want a striker. Now, unless the random bizarre we get John Duran happens, it is going to come January. Victor Osimhen is just going to want to be playing, and he is going to accept a deal at Chelsea. The last thing is, how's the wage structure going to work? And I think this is what's going to happen. His agent, and I'm not trying to bash him. You can tell me if you guys know more about it, but this is just my opinion right here. Screwed Victor Osimhen, right? It just did not work out. He tried to do so many other things, and I don't want to get into it because this is supposed to be a short YouTube video that messed him up. Comes January, he is either going to be fired or he is going to be under crazy pressure to make a deal work, and he will convince Victor Osimhen to take this. And Victor Osimhen will probably decide to go lower. Chelsea will probably match his salary because they will be in a position where they need a striker, want a striker, and it will happen. They will offer an obligation loan with an obligation to buy at the end of the year, and Napoli will take it. But yeah, that's it. It's happening in January. We have to wait a lot longer. But hey, this is going to give Nicholas Jackson some more time, and we'll see how we are in January. But it will happen. Let me know your guys' thoughts, though, down below. If you think it is a sure thing, if you think, what is the odds that he comes in January transfer window? And just go ahead and like this video. Remember, we're trying to get to 300 likes. That would be amazing. And just subscribe if you're not already. Man, it's a disappointing day, but patience is a virtue. He will come next year. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Come on, Chelsea.